Hi, I'm Joanna Fantozzi, and I'm here with Imran Sheikh of Milkshake Concepts. Now, can you give me your best elevator pitch for your concept?
Well, we have multiple concepts. So we are a multi-brand hospitality company based out of Dallas, Texas. We currently have 7 brands with 10 locations. So you could kind of say we're incubating these brands right now, getting them ready for growth. And we are set to open another 10 locations within the next 14 months. So kind of got this little hyper growth phase coming up. But yeah, it's been, we formed the company in 2015 amongst 3 partners. I'm one of them. But really excited about sort of where we are today and where we're planning to go.
Great. Now, can you give us a little preview of your concepts?
Absolutely. So we have varying cuisines and varying price points, actually. So I'll talk about Vidorra first. It was our 3rd ever concept, our 2nd restaurant. It's a Mexican concept that we absolutely love. It's very transportive, very experiential, the sounds, the smells, the ambience, the decor, the food. We currently have 2 locations in the Dallas market. We are opening 2 more, one within the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, another one in Nashville. But quite excitingly, we're hoping to go from 4 to 10 by the end of 2023 and then on to 2024. So some very exciting sort of growth planned for that concept. We also have an elevated steakhouse called Harper's, which is a globally inspired steakhouse. We're launching a new grill and raw bar concept called the Finch. We're launching 3 of those in the next 12 months. But we also have a fast casual concept called Serious Pizza. And later this year, we're going to launch a sort of hybrid micro food hall with 3 serious brands: Serious Pizza, Serious Sliders, and Serious Shakes. So as you can probably tell, we're quite serious about Serious. And but the nice thing about Serious is we're very serious about the food, but we're not really serious about anything else. It's a very fun, edgy, kind of tongue-in-cheek concept. So we're having a lot of fun with that. And I think that really then, we obviously have some others that we're working on, but that really there speaks to what we love to do as a company. We love to conceptualize, develop, and we love to work in different spaces. And I think that's what excites us every day.
Now, tell me a bit more about that micro food hall, because that sounds great.
Yeah, so the idea was, so Serious actually was the first brand that we didn't conceptualize, we acquired in 2019. And the reason for that acquisition was I fell in love with really the brand and what I felt the potential was, but really what the different iterations of Serious could become. And so we're doing a deal in the city of Grand Prairie, which is part of the wider Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And in one of the sites, I just thought it was so perfectly set up to sort of have these 3 bays of differing Serious food offerings, but we're going to have it with a full bar, a live music stage that looks in and looks out to a lawn. And I could foresee this great atmosphere of different people eating different foods, if not all of them, at the same time, whilst enjoying some drinks and cocktails and beers, and also taking advantage of this live music stage and the lawn. And so, again, with Serious, we don't necessarily have a set plan. We could do another food hall with 5 Serious iterations, but we also currently have 2 Serious Pizza locations that are just pizza. So it's really fun to actually not have a concept that's so defined that we can actually play with as we go. It almost feels like a bit of Play-Doh, right? We can mold it and make it amenable as we go, and that's super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the most challenging part of being in that incubation stage, as you call it?
So, obviously, I'm talking about the excitement that comes with multi-brand and working on multiple brands, but there's so many challenges that come with that, right? How do you stay focused? How do you give every brand the necessary attention that it needs? We feel it. I always liken our brands to children, right? When you're raising children, you want to give them all a set of morals and standards, and you want them all to be good kids, right? But ultimately, as they grow up, you soon realize that each has their own path. And when they have their own path, you've got to make sure that you support that particular growth that they have, that journey. So, Vidorra is an example. Now it's almost kind of maturing and it's about to leave home, but it's not leaving home, it's just going out on its own now, and we'll go from 4 to 10. So when you're in that phase, you're also going to be very honest with yourself when you have 1 or 2 locations and say, is this truly a growth vehicle? Is this brand something that's scalable? We have 1 brand right now. It was our 1st ever restaurant. We love it, we're proud of it, but we don't necessarily see it as a growth vehicle. So it'll probably stay at the 2 locations it has, and we're okay with that.
Mm-hmm. So how do you know the difference between what is a growth vehicle and what is something that you just kind of want to stay at 1 or 2 locations?
So I think that becomes the difference between a concept that you conceptualize and a concept that comes to life, right? Once it comes to life, no matter how much you design it, think about it, plan for it, it takes on a life and a spirit of its own. And so you're looking at a lot of different indicators. Sales is obviously one, consistency, sustainability. So if it's hot now, but will it be hot 8 years from now, 10 years from now? Could I see this in multiple markets, right? Or is it something that does very well in a confined space, but if it was to go to major cities, it probably wouldn't do as well? You're looking at all these little indicators, and then your instinct kicks in, and you just know, right? You know that, okay, that brand has it. It's got the legs. Now we've got to give it, give it a good opportunity to go out there and sort of and really thrive.
Mm-hmm. So what is a category you guys aren't in right now that you would like to be in the future?
God, I could speak to 100. That's part of my biggest problem. I have ants in my pants, right? I'm constantly wanting to try and explore and do new things. Look, I think there's lots of food types and segments. I actually think elevated Mediterranean is something which I love because I think it's very healthy, but I think it can be very tasty. I think you can have a lot of fun with the decor, so that is something we're looking at. But again, I've now got a team around me, which absolutely everyone needs, who are doing a very good job of also keeping me very sort of focused. And so it's a case of knowing when to stay focused on what you already have and when to now bring another sort of brand out of the ground. And so it's a delicate balance. We love to do that, but we're trying to stay a little bit, I think we've grown up a little bit. We're trying to stay a little bit more disciplined as to when we do that.
All right, great. So what are, I guess, your biggest goals now for the future beyond opening up perhaps that Mediterranean concept?
So I think the thing for me is I want to continue to feel like as a company we're evolving, that we're creating a culture that inspires people to better themselves professionally, personally. I love to see growth from within, people who started with us as servers who are now managers or maybe even senior to that. So we want to build a truly sustainable company. We want to build one that people truly share a vision of. And I think in the end, people talk about awards and sales and all of that, but in the end, I want to wake up every day feeling like we're accomplishing something. And I think for as long as I have that feeling, this is the business I want to be in. So long may that continue.
I love ending on that note. Thank you so much, Imran, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.